Okay, looks like we've worked out the kinks. Hey guys, it's been a while. Super Embro here. Wow, that's friggin' loud. Is the microphone? Yeah, the microphone's working. Cool. Cool. Anyway, yeah, friggin'. So it has been a while since I've streamed anything. And for some odd reason, I wanted to play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which I am going to do right now on the Switch. I was originally going to download it for PC, but then I was like, nah, I kind of did the whole thing on the Xbox console originally. Or not the Xbox, but the DS console. So I was like, you know what? It's been a while. Let's jump back into some Capcom. Just because, you know, I had that whole letdown with Monster Hunter being so short and not, not that great. Where is my sound? Oh, there it is. Oh, we're at one. Okay, cool. But it has been a while since I've played a Ace Attorney game, so I have been wanting to get back into this. Plus, it was on the Switch, so I was like, oh, hell yeah. What's our special content? I know it said I got special content. What was that all about? Oh, it's this kind of thing? Okay, that's fine. Oh, there was a 2? Okay, yeah, we'll get into the first one first. Ugh, man.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation.
Pop my seat back a little bit. There we go.
The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Oh. What?
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
What? What? Okay, what the hell's going on? I'm already more confused than I was a minute ago. I was like, okay, this is cool. It's opening up into like a beautiful thing, and then I was like, oh. I recognize that noise. The typewriter noise from the Ace Attorney stuff. Oh, we can autoplay this? Still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the door, this little quiet chamber, is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Oh shit. Sorry. Ryunosuke? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, and who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. Until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Tisk technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. Huh. Ryunosuke. Yes, so sorry, of course. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this, I'm sorry. Oh boy, this is gonna be a long one. Just like always. Though I must say, you have been all over the news here. professor murdered in cold blood, but obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. I didn't touch him. I can never murder someone. And there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up, hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asagi, my best friend. Also in the second year of Yume University, but he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer, impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. You can hear the stuff in my head? That's awesome. The very concept of lawyers is a few... okay. My qualifications don't mean much yet. He said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. Whoa, this is deeper than I thought it was going to be. Sophisticated legal system in the world. Really happy for you and proud as your friend. Or billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our legal system. So I want to cross the ocean and see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire? While I'm tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only if it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time, I better be going. Yeah, I don't know what just happened there, but the stream decided to die out. I just tried to fix it, I think. Hopefully. Asagi, may I have a word? Uh-oh. These are parents. Oh no, these are professors? Professor, I didn't know you were coming today. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asagi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial is all of a sudden. Seems there may be some confusion in procedures today. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. Thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I am a professor of forensic medicine. Oh. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard of that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asagi told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know... Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asagi has granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. Okay, I see what's going on. What dick tried to set him up and got me instead? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asagi might have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand, why would the government do such a thing? The administration has chose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission even in the most favorable circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear! I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true, nevertheless. I can assure that proving your innocence will be no easy task. Are you sure? This feels like the tutorial. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right. So, as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our superstitious, I don't remember, discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point to anyone advocating for you like this. Oh, okay, wow. One bailiff is kind of an asshole. This is it. If the trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on an unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. So this is a courtroom. Supreme Court of Judicature? No court in the land has more power. I don't like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that have been demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. No. He has an ancient relative in this? The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it! This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant? But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Your Excellency, there's no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who...
Yes!
What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? Or are you playing at Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything. Just know before the trial. Just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. That's sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. Oh, okay, that can go in a couple different ways. No, it's not that, really. It's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that right, Naruhodo-san? Hmm? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for the mere university student to be brought here before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetuated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standard of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in the case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But... wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that! What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in your court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of R. What? I said right there in the file. If you ever find that you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press R for the court record. Alright. There's no time to lose. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R. You'll find the details about the victim here. Press B to go back. John H. Wilson, 47. The victim of the case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at the Yume University from British Empire. Okay. So remember, everything you do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record. Press X to present them. Try it now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of the esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed. Which is the reason why this case has such profound implication. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together, after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of Anglo-Japanese treaty of friendship and navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from all our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for his crime. So that's why this trial has an unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, but Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get a visit from a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow. Then, partner. The British Empire. Wow. It's incredible to think. Wait. What the hell's going on? He was there the entire time? I've seen that man at the university. Sure, he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. Oh, dude, this is where he got in trouble, isn't it? So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke, remember, then in the court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence. But how? Find the piece of... Goddamn ads. Hey, buddy! Been a while. Oh, shit. Evidence. Post-mortem report. Present.
Yes!
Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report. I take it. Sorry, yes. Hey. So you're Sunday to Thursday now, huh? Didn't know that until friggin' I found out on Friday. Sorry. Yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested of any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. Yeah, I haven't noticed. Someone literally had to tell me the other day. I was like, what? No, you didn't. Yeah, I didn't pay. It shows how much I friggin' pay attention to what's going on. Again, all I know is the crap that I was hearing while I was up at the desk. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Looks like he was shot from the back, to be honest. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answer. Let us start the trial. YMCA. Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. I want some more space from the one. Ah, yeah, I know. The professor, you mean? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly the defense lawyer today, not me, but that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asagi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking to his oars, isn't it? Maybe, but any help you can give me will be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in the crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Yeah, no, I completely understand that. I think I was actually able to calm it down the other day, so. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please! Hosonoga. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonoga. I am the head waiter at the Western-style restaurant called Le Carnaval. That guy totally wanted to. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some... It's a regular occurrence. It doesn't really bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in the one district's so-called restaurants on Occidental Eatery 3 days ago. The headband guy, he kind of was. Understood. Hosonaga. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjection from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring, maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on that day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory, too. There was hardly anyone in the place. Oh, shit. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away your crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. Butler did it. That's the way it seems, right? I found the victim, an English gentleman slumped in his chair. Is this gonna lead up to something else in real life? Because I'm not liking the way this is going. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up the gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur.
But...
The next time you interrupt, at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized. Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in the court today. Yes, without question. I see, smack, smack. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the handcuffs? Sorry, I smacked the last brain cell in my head. The victim! Butler did it with a knife in the study. No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait. What did he just say? There was no one else around the table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson's to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite at the table. Really? And that's something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Interject anyway.
Yes!
Because it's a video game and this has no consequence to me. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the table.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings. I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of the event is hazy? With the way his glasses are, the butler definitely did it here. No. The deceased gentleman came in to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment layout, drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly in a very conscientious waiter. Okay, you know, the amount of times he's wiped the blood off on that rag, I don't think it's sanitary anymore. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the record. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Well, he's shaking right now. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. He has TB. He probably do. So, the court has now heard of the of the case. Yes, and the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully on you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called the waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. You just said there was no one else in the goddamn building, you fucking liar. God damn it. Your waiter just said there was no one else in the building. How was there more people there? What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for the more lenient... Oh, wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent, I trust you, and yet despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? Why does the headband boy have a sword in court? I don't know. Why do I have a sword next to me while I stream? These are questions we don't need answers to. What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove the innocence of whatever means necessary. See? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive the evidence really is. My god, I'm getting all tongue-tied. I'm actually getting interested in this. Indeed. Prosecutor Yuichi, please continue with the proceedings. Well, I warned you. You were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Why am I making him sound drunk as shit? Oh god, we got like pseudo-Hitler here and... Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Ayasa Nosa. Ayasa Nosa? Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the effervescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade with Rasutai and humble premises in the 2nd District, Kyorio at your service. Oh wow, that was a lot of words I could not understand there. And an antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question, even though I just said there was nobody there in the restaurant with the old man in the day in question, except for the waiter. They must be the diners at the other tables that the waiter mentioned. Oh, now the waiter mentioned it. When was this? Myself, I habitually take a tea of the most expensive aroma at the establishment in question. Always post-noon. And not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. That's how I feel. He said what I'm feeling. He's an antique dealer. And it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have interest in antiques and tries to sell them his wares. He's obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, with both witnesses, the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative.
The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner with what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was a black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So this is the divisive evidence the prosecution is threatening. That soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred.
Yes, sir.
Was that a baby?
Sir, yes, sir. Standing by ready to report, sir.
Unsavory memories of most acerbic afternoon. I heard a baby and it scared me.
I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having tactical discussion with the old man.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Oh, so you got shit stolen. Okay.
Well, so you, Sergeant Noosa, actually witnessed the vital moment.
You saw the split second. I hit that button way too quick.
Yes, sir, affirmative.
That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel, unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Renosuke? Yes. All I did was pick up the gun that was lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, I accidentally fired at him. Why does that old man have a knife in court? Can we just say accidental discharge? Well, if that's the truth, then there is obviously a criminal on the scene of somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue to who the criminal was. There is? Renosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we've heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in these testimonies of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to begin this despicable student to justice. Bring this despicable... Man, I'm tongue-twistering myself. Certainly, the testimony the court just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial.
Yes!
Yes. I have a question. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to the you want to try that again? Cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachibaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not to think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Cosmo's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright. This is where the real battle begins, Renosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is already in the evidence. Right. Evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive evidence and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Renosuke. Don't let them beat you! Grr! Alright then. It's all or nothing. I'm getting way too into this. This is how I end up creating new voices a lot of the time. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a technical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. Okay, hold on.
Yes!
So, you're saying you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative, I saw you! Laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of the gun on the English civilian. I probably would be. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about that statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over at the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it wouldn't mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. And double my sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet. Surely, that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I have got where... Wait, I keep hearing a baby. Do you think I'd have gotten where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well... It would seem the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. The Black University cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel... Wait a minute. Shot from the front. Ah! What are you talking about hearing a baby? I keep hearing a baby cry, and it's creepy. It's like in the game, but it's I don't think it's in the IRL. I just keep hearing a baby cry in-game. So, okay, I'm gonna present this, because this is clearly where he's full of shit.
Yes!
He's sweating. And the old man's got diabetes, clearly. He needs to get seen.
Why are you playing at, Cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache?
Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here.
What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us what we don't already...
Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth.
I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in the Grand Courtroom.
This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma? What?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there is a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iyasanosa. Yes, sir.
What, sir?
That statement you just made, was this? The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no! That just can't be!
And why not, Cadet?
Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is an obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? I told you I wasn't crazy. What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back. But he pushed it down again.
Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here.
Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa?
Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir. What?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iyasanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. Oh, I just realized his name is a pun. It's yes sir, no sir.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Oh, man. Ouchie. Oh, God. I just realized his name. Are all these names puns? I'm just slowly catching on to this.
That's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial. Just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about.
But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor.
And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself? I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure.
Treasure?
Indeed, the Hoi-era Koban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit the restaurant, it is my habitude to place it in my bosom pocket, a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasutai.
In hope of meeting a rich diner who would like to buy it from you.
On the day under scrutiny, it was the military man that I proffered my Hoi treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not. But I was presented with a little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was not there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened.
You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoi treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
I see.
That lamentable day, the precious Koban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prized coin for himself.
As I am sure everyone present is aware, the case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how you subverted our government feels, it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Aochi?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witness have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What?
He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir, at once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir.
That child is creeping me out now.
Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think.
Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name Aido.
It seems those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny.
Aido. Tension! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy.
Well, the mystery of the scary baby has come out.
Even if I was in the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, our visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that there was only the personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman.
there was a waiter. Was there not? These just...
Yes!
Wait, I didn't even get to read.
Wait! That's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all.
Please, enough of the outbursts already.
But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the table of the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel?
Indeed. Of the table of which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As they can plainly see... Hold on. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. But the chair is the opposite direction, I think. Yes, yes. Okay, so the chair closest to the camera is facing the camera, while the chair at the other end is facing towards the inner table. But that could also just mean that they flipped the chair around. But I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that a victim was not in company of anyone else.
This doesn't make any sense.
The court will add the new photographic evidence to the record. The photographic print of the crime scene has been entered in the court record.
I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody saw that woman.
The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. Okay, now I'm getting confused. I swear I saw that woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witnesses' testimonies we just heard are further confirmed out. They since have political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takasuchi Auchi, will have contributed to the amity of two great empires in honor. As an honor.
How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule.
Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet.
What?
If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it. To draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to a cross-examination of the witness. But make it quick. Understood? Rules can be so unbending at times.
The true culprit.
Even if it wasn't. Even if what I saw was at the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was the young lad in black. That I did was. How could you see that if you were under the table? True that I was holding the gun at the time. But I told you, oh, god damn it. Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it. I was drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when... noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, bang. A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated the testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find it myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you with the pistol in hand standing over the foreigner. Okay, so he did see that. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. So I can confirm those photos. I have a feeling it's this. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed. Bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched him. Dining all by himself.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone? That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? Let's not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As you can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antique dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before, that it is not possible that they're all lying. It's not impossible that they're all, but if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed student could dispatch the old Englishman.
Yes!
You must have noticed something at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you've been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel a growing callous in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Noticed her. Past 2 p.m. The quiet time between lunch and dinner at any restaurant. I know. Of course, that place is almost empty. 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of... I wonder if there's any reason why the victim was eating at that time of day. Why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hoda Clinic. Yes. There would be indeed appeared an entry date in question. 19th of November, noon to past 1. The very day the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this to evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it's hard to see how he could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted to... Yes. All that shit should be submitted. If I may, I'd ask for the medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are no concern. Whether or not their concern is up to us to decide. We have right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for a submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Interesting. Need right now is new clues. Court record. Okay. A medical report card from the Hood Clinic was found in the victim's pocket. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if it doesn't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's a day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korakuta. I wish I could read that. Furthermore, oh man, I am like losing it right now. Ah man, okay. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. Photographic print of the evidence. Shot from the front of the chest so secretly. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak. Wait. I feel...
Yes!
I'm gonna press him on that. Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, Cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one thing you might not have noticed, but for both of you to fail to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Fortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo is just not... Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony you heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also stated the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But I... man, my brain's gonna hurt. Prosecution demands to see proof. No proof actually exists. I mentioned the phantom was made. It's a blatant waste of our time in court. Nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Renosuke. We gleaned some new information for now. Well, yes, but I didn't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see the medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Oh, okay, so this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Please, thank you God, how exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Okay. To rotate the evidence and all. Okay, cool. You can move the crosshair around to hunt for clues that you missed before. Okay. I think it's showing me where the first one is. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at the medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright. Alright, let's see what I need to use. To inspect any area as a... Okay. Oh, there's a bent corner here. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. It's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe that there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours. Post-procedure until anesthesia effects have worn off. Sounds like the information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. With this new information, the meaning of this one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. What statement? Oh, that one. Can I do that to this too? I want to flip this. Well, that's unexpected. What is it? Look. Do you see the... It says the witness's name here. Satoru Hosanaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's the sort of point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job? Chief Inspector? Inspector? No idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. They're wielding it somehow here. Oh, shoot. The plan for the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think, definitely. I suppose it shows the relative position of everything in the moment following the incident, but there's nothing here to show what you say exactly, and that's not all. Look here in the upper left corner where it says kitchen. Oh yes, a lot of it. No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Renouske. Oh, I just realized that. You can see the imprint of the back of the card on this side, on the tables. That's cool. That's detailed as hell. I didn't know I could use the magnifying glass here. Oops, I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. Damn it. Okay, I meant to present. I meant to present. So he wasn't eating.
Yes!
Well, I think, What are you wittering, lad? You call yourself a lawyer. I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Renosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally, under the circumstances. I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it clearly that in the cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was that you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you think. Alright. And thanks for the advice. Kurikuta-san, this is the medical report card belonging to the victim. I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on the report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But, let's see if I can explain it in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's... Remember, Renosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason of that there is no one else besides the pale-faced pupil who could possibly... This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hoda Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours. Post-procedure with anesthesia when the anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't be. Kurikuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating at all. No! Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of anesthesia. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's that very discrepancies we're talking about, or you can't follow the logic. Huh? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in the restaurant's case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Renosuke?
Yes, most definitely.
So having undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel.
Counsel. Oh, that means me, doesn't it?
Alright, the answer in question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of.
Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... I bet it was the sergeant and the antiques dealer. Nosa-san and Kurakuda-san.
Are you taking the cake, cadet? You think I'd share rations with my disciplined gravy?
Insult me by associating me with the British carnivore, would you? You both were present at the scene. Neither of you can deny that. You had the opportunity.
You addle-brained idiot. I had my own regulation beefsteak set before me at my own table. And as any soldier worth his salt will tell you, you seize whatever rations are put in front of you. I would seem to... okay. I thought it would have been right.
Oh, of course, Your Excellency. The person eating the steak.
I guess it would be the third party.
Obviously. It can only be someone else who was sitting at the table with the professor.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her.
When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else eating that. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that the witness' testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through the ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly.
Cosmo. Are you insane? You would take on the government.
Don't worry, counsel, I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them, the two witnesses in the stand.
What
are you talking about? We have demonstrated the evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you are deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing.
Complicit? In murder? No! Hold it!
Negative. There was no mention of this in the tactical meeting. I was just following orders.
That's right. As the man said, just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what we were told. Oh. What? What did you just say? Kurakuda-san? No. You were just following orders. Now, hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady overseas? What?
Objection!
What? What is the meaning of this? These witnesses gave false statements. Is that true, you pair?
Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order, the council. Explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent the witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirators to the murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Renosuke, judging from the way they reacted to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchie had any idea about it.
What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could have only been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose.
Well, any idea who might have been behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit.
So we need a name. Whoever it was that tried to keep the witnesses to keep their mouths shut.
Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it is really did wield his power over her. Her power over here.
But how? How can we possibly?
Remember how we made progress before?
Before?
We examined the piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We'll need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that the witnesses have manipulated it, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about this. I swear to every Shinto god, I knew nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about all of this?
Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes to my mind. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is...
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hasanoga.
Hasanaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier.
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make the witnesses give false testimonies? Not to mention the fact that they even had a head waiter who could not possibly even have that level of influence.
For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man's truly were a waiter.
What?
If he truly were. Come on, Renosuke. Time to hit the court with that truth. The truth about Satoru Hasanaga's real identity as proven by the evidence. Present that shit. The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree. It shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure what we can conclude anything.
Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest.
I beg your pardon?
Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card, sir. That's what the telling detail is.
Are you on drugs, kid? Would somebody please explain this overexcited student's trying to say?
Flip the card over.
Hasanaga-san sketched the plan on the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of the business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's true, surely. Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter's a police detective? I haven't heard of any mention of this before. Why haven't I had... what?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen the foreign gentlewoman at the scene?
Well...
Inspector Hosonaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. Is there a problem? Hand over the plan, court officer, at once. Of course. Here you are.
Yeah, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card.
I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working at a restaurant as a waiter? Nah, of course.
I was working undercover.
Undercover?
Yes. There have been a series of incidents at the restaurant lately. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover.
Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents?
That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But will you elaborate on one point for the court?
Of course, Your Excellency.
We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I'm led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency.
Unbelievable.
As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, a gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady whom I'd guessed to be the English woman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders.
Special orders? You mean to say?
Remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders.
But what if the Englishwoman was the killer?
I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea.
What?
The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case.
But it's not right!
One possibility does spring to mind.
What do you mean, Cosmo?
Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory is a young Englishwoman.
What?
You're a shrewd man. I can see why you were chosen candidate for the overseas study tour.
What? You mean...
When I removed the young woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. And the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university's professor's table was a certain Miss Jezeel Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University Medical Facility.
What? What is happening here?
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in the testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well, my thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that the premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
But Your Excellency, that would be missing the noon deadline of the ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such an action.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes, sir. You will locate this Jezeel Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given by the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly.
So it won't be a problem.
Nothing will get in my way. Court will be adjourned briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Jezeel Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency.
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.
Can I save? Oh, yes. Cool. Alright, yeah, I'm having fun with this. This might be... I'm going to definitely continue the series. We're 2 hours in. Jesus. Tutorial case is 2 hours long? Hell yeah. I'll save there. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I'm going to go to bed. And I will see you next time. Peace out. See you later. I'm a lawyer now.